Unreal has always been an engine that has really enabled people to do some amazing stuff. But what you may not know is that it's one of the more open tools out there, and a lot of people do a lot of interesting stuff with it. What that means is a lot of artists creating a lot of absolutely amazing art. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, we're going to do something just a little bit different. Here's 10 insane levels created in Unreal Engine 4. Number 10 is a Cyberpunk street level by artist Kryziek Brzezinski. Now, if I'm not saying that correct, I apologize. I'm just going to call him KB. And some of the assets to create this level came from various places, as well as some that he created himself. Just the sheer amount of planning that would have to go into this cyberpunk city is completely amazing. What we see a view of is this massive sprawling street. We gradually get to see more as the video of it progresses. We see pedestrians, we see screens, which are constantly moving, vehicles going down the street, vehicles flying through the sky, and though I'm sure it's probably just this single street, it seems massive and sprawling, like something you really wouldn't expect to see an amateur artist create. And like I said, a lot of the assets weren't original, but just being able to even lay this out is a talent. To just combine all of this into a living, breathing scene is shocking, honestly. Honestly, if this was a game, it would be amazing. Number 9 is this amazing post-apocalyptic urban forest. An artist by the name of Maverick uploaded to YouTube. It's essentially tests with these Quixel photo scan assets, and while that might sound like, oh, they didn't model and texture all this stuff, let me just go ahead and say those assets I've seen alone, and while they're very photorealistic looking, they're not art. They're literally like base assets, like here's a rock, here's some grass, here's a building. To turn them into something that is even real feeling, let alone an environment that doesn't exist in real life, in a way that is not just artful but beautiful, it's a feat. Maverick really did something cool here. The way this person layered trees and buildings and things all together just really comes off natural and possible, and their use of volumetric lighting and fog is really just unparalleled. It is gorgeous. If this was in a game and it was as still and quiet. Number 8 are these ray tracing demos that Nvidia made. Obviously, they're more meant to show off certain visual effects, but honestly, the type of thing that they're showing us would make a great game. One of the shorts depicts a suit of mechanical armor going on to a guy who then flies and goes and gets his hand stuck in the ground. And another of these shorts depicts a target practice room, where we get to basically see that this would more or less be an Iron Man sim. And you know what? That would be amazing. The design in these things doesn't so much say like immersive level, more as visual feel that we'd love to see implemented in levels, as well as a type of gameplay that I'm sure that would work out well. Number 7 is a series of forest scenes created by YouTube user Quinn Bow with a bunch of various mega scans like we mentioned earlier. These scenes easily could be in just about any kind of exploration-oriented game like Uncharted, or if they made an Indiana Jones game. And I don't think you would be remiss in saying it looks like a team of artists made it when a guy did. Just uploaded it to his YouTube channel, that's what this is for. Pretty amazing, really, when you think about it. That it's something that's not only just some non-affiliated artist's work, but is running in real time on the Unreal Engine. Number 6 is this amazing snow scene that shows us a sort of sunset, torn up dirt road in the middle of winter, or perhaps near the end of winter, because we do see some water as well. Perhaps there is some melting snow. It's that stage where snow is kind of sludgy looking, and it's my opinion that this particular work shows a particular bit of creativity in its texturing. I think that it's more original work because it is a little less photorealistic than we've seen elsewhere, and more along the lines of attempting to be creative. And I think it's really cool because it's extremely pretty. This is the kind of thing I would love to see in an FPS sometime. I don't know, we need more FPSs that take place in the snow. Number 5, to show off Nvidia's technology, they used the Unreal Engine to recreate the moon and make it so that the simulated lighting would literally be exactly the same as if it were on the moon. The stated purpose of this was to prove that the moon landing hoaxes were in fact nonsense, But the obvious real purpose of this was to market their technology, and it worked. If you watch their half-hour documentary on how they did it, they mentioned they could make a game like this, and it would look as realistic as it possibly could. And then you're left wondering, well, why don't you? Sure, it'd be pretty niche, but I think most people would like to live the moon landing. Number 4, a channel called Unreal Environments Speed Level Design uploaded this speed design of a Fallout-inspired wasteland. Kind of swampy, kind of nuclear, kind of dilapidated, kind of a shed in the middle of a crap hole. The way they did it is really cool. The intent was to speed render, not necessarily make the perfect environment, but this is a person who very clearly knows their stuff because honestly, it's cool. You could easily have this in a Fallout game, and in some cases it might be cooler than a lot of what we've seen in the Fallout games. Partly because it just flat out doesn't use the Bethesda Gamebryo monstrosity creation thing. Instead, it uses Unreal. Number 3, a user by the name of Kulala builds these amazing scenes that incorporate various elements of nature. You have water, plants, etc., as well as these amazing underwater environments that frankly are almost impossible to believe aren't just footage from underwater, as well as these ultra-modern monolith-style rooms with these amazing lighting effects that you would swear were real. And this person really clearly knows what they're doing. Good stuff, Kulala. Number 2 is this short called Rebirth by Quixel, who is actually in charge of a lot of those high-definition scans that a lot of other creators on this list use to create what they're making. Here's the thing, they're the originators of these things. They would take out these 3D scanners as well as take lots of photos and put these rocks and elements all into a big repository you can buy and construct to your heart's intent, in theory, some very real looking place. Now they went ahead and made this short out of a lot of the elements they had scanned and put in their market and created this truly amazing kind of futuristic wastelandy kind of place out of rocks that actually exists somewhere in Iceland. Now, again, just using these scans isn't like a shortcut to having good content. Otherwise, I think pretty much everything would be photorealistic at this point. It takes a lot of jostling around, a lot of placement, a lot of design, a lot of thinking, what fits together, what works together, and this sort of wasteland with a hover car in it with this weird base, I feel like would be great. Like, I don't know what kind of game exactly it would be. Maybe it would be some kind of fast-paced Grand Theft Auto 2,000 years in the future. I don't know. But it is cool as hell. And then finally at number 1, we have a channel called Art by Rens, who uses their own high-resolution 3D captures along with textures to build these genuinely, completely photorealistic environments. When I see this channel, I think to myself, once they get green screen a little bit better, the era of quote-unquote limited filmmaking is over. It's not that these are kind of photorealistic or near photorealistic. This person creates these completely photorealistic environments out of stuff that they capture on their own. When you're looking at Art by Rens, you could swear it was a photograph or film or whatever, stock footage. I think about what an open world game would look like there. I'd love to see it. Couple of quick bonus environments for you. First, let's just quickly look at a 2019 Half-Life fan remake that's being made with the Unreal 4 engine. It's the best looking possible version of Half-Life. It looks like if Half-Life was a AAA game from maybe 4 years ago. Is it perfect by today's AAA standards? Not entirely, but compare any screen grab of it to the original Half-Life and it's kind of like, oh, wow. It's honestly just beyond cool though. All of the various scenes from the original Half-Life intro where you're in the tram in a much, much, much prettier technical situation. Honestly, I really, really hope that this ends up coming out eventually. Then, of course, finally, there's those Unreal Engine apartments that they use to show off the photorealism of the newest Unreal Engine. I don't really know what these could be in a game, but I feel like whatever you used them for, you would feel completely immersed in. They're gorgeous, and they really do come off as photorealistic a lot of the time. Did you see anything in this video you thought might be fun? as a level in a game? Leave us a comment. Let us hear your most creative ideas. It's not like we're gonna make them or anything. We don't really have the ability to do that, but we certainly had a good time fantasizing about these environments. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now would be a good time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. So click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time, right here on gameranx.